Now, we all know that NeYo's personal life has been a hot mess for quite a while now. Cheating, baby mama drama, lawsuits, something is always happening. And this time, it's not so different because his new baby mama is not letting him have it easy. She is coming for his money with a lot of aggression, and it looks like she's going to be milking him dry with child support payments. NeYo just broke down, and he is revealing all the wild details of how he got tricked into this situation because his baby mama never loved him but was only after that cash. And child, this is one wild story. Is NeYo about to go broke? Y'all know how they say that karma gets her due. Well, NeYo is learning this the hard way because karma came to collect her dues the hard way. One thing about NeYo is that he is known for treating women badly, so it's not exactly surprising that he is going through what he's going through. And when I tell y'all that NeYo has been cruel to women, y'all gotta believe me. It's wild how he always sings about love, but his own love life is in shambles. Take his first baby mama, Monyetta Shaw, for example. They were together for about 14 years, had 2 kids together, and she had no idea that NeYo was cheating on her because he was just so sleek. In fact, he convinced her to get her tubes tied because he was done having kids and claimed that he was fine with the 2 kids that they already had. Monyetta believed him and she got her tubes tied. Unfortunately, it wasn't long after this that she found out that NeYo had been acting goofy and was messing around with other women. That still wasn't enough to make her leave him, and she tried to make the relationship work. But then NeYo decided that he did want more kids after all, and since Monyetta was no longer able to give him kids, he dropped her like a hot potato. Like, how foul you gotta be to do something like that? Like, that woman gave up her chances of having more kids out of love and loyalty, and then you decided to walk out on her? He then started dating Crystal Renee, and even though Crystal has always claimed that she never messed with NeYo while he was with Monyetta, people don't believe her. A lot of people believe that she was a side piece who got promoted to wife after NeYo dumped Monyetta, and she got a lot of warnings about him. People told her that he was a walking pile of red flags and that she needed to run, but she didn't listen, and she went on to have 3 kids with NeYo. They even renewed their vows in 2022, and then just a couple of months later, Crystal filed for divorce and exposed NeYo of fathering a child outside of their marriage. She wrote, 8 years of lies and deception, 8 years of unknowingly sharing my life and husband with numerous women who sell their bodies to him unprotected. Every last one of them. To say I'm heartbroken and disgusted is an understatement. To ask me to stay and accept it is absolutely insane. The mentality of a narcissist. I will no longer lie to the public or pretend that this is something it isn't. I choose me. I choose my happiness and health and my respect. I gained 3 beautiful children out of this, but nothing else but wasted years and heartache. Unfortunately for her, people didn't really feel sorry for her because, well, she had gotten a lot of warnings about how you get them is how you lose them before. Plus, the whole thing with Monyetta should have been enough warning, but hey, we learn from mistakes, right? Well, NeYo certainly didn't make things easy for Crystal during the divorce because, trust, the entire situation was messy. He shaded her on Twitter saying, "For the sake of our children, my family and I will work through our challenges behind closed doors. Personal matters are not meant to be addressed and dissected in public forums. I simply ask that you please respect me and my family's privacy at this time." He also tried to get the court to kick Crystal out of their home and also force her to pay his legal fees since she was the one who filed for divorce in the first place. Child, talk about being petty. Well, the divorce was finally settled a couple of weeks ago, and NeYo was ordered to pay Crystal $1.6 million as well as $20,000 in moving costs. According to TMZ, he also has to pay $150,000 so she can buy a new car since he's taken their old one, a 2022 Bentley Bentayga. He will also pay Crystal $12,000 a month in child support. They have 3 kids together, and he'll cover the kids' school expenses. NeYo will also have to fork over $5,000 a month in alimony for the next 3 years. Whew, but the karma still ain't done with him, because you know the woman he had a baby with outside of his marriage with Monyetta? Well, now she is dragging him to court and suing him for child support, child custody, and a whole lot of other things. Y'all remember how Crystal said he had a baby on her during their marriage? Well, it turns out that not only did he have a baby on her, but he had 2 babies on her, and both of the babies were with the same woman. That kind of makes it clear that he has been messing with the woman for at least a couple of years now since they welcomed their first daughter in 2021 and their second in February of this year. Anywho, the woman's name is Sharday Bonaris, and she and NeYo are currently in a court case that looks like it's going to be messy. NeYo took her to court to get joint custody of the kids, and while that doesn't sound so bad, he is also asking her to pay him child support since the kids are going to be with him for half of the time. According to court documents, NeYo is asking for a DNA test to confirm that the new baby is his biological child. This kind of sounds like he suspects that Sade might have been messing around with other men behind his back. It doesn't stop there, because the documents also show that petitioner asserts that it is in the best interest of the minor children that the parties are awarded joint legal custody of the minor children. Now, people feel like this part is kind of irrational because Nia is an active artist who is always touring, staying booked and busy in the studio, doing promotional stuff and all that stuff. So how on earth does he plan to take care of two kids who are both under the age of 2? Yeah, that doesn't really add up, and people feel like he is just being petty and trying to stick it to her, especially since he further went on to ask the courts to award him child support for the time the kids were with him. He also asked the courts to force her to change the older kid's last name to Smith, and I find it interesting that he didn't ask the same for the younger kid, probably because the DNA hadn't been done yet. Well, Sade finally replied to his lawsuit, and she asked the court to strike out his petition for joint custody. Even more, she asked the court to force him to pay her child support as equitable to his income. Now, before this, it's unclear what agreement she and NeYo have regarding child support, but it was likely not legally binding because there was no legal agreement. But now she is taking him to court and asking the courts to determine how much she gets from him per month, and child, it looks like she is not here to play. The wild thing about this is that it wouldn't have happened if NeYo hadn't tried to play games with her, so play silly games, win silly prizes. Many people believe that Sade only got with him because of money. Considering his history, she knew what kind of man he was, so she was never really serious about it. People left comments saying, "It blows my mind that any woman wants him knowing his background and history. It's like constantly sticking your hand in fire and expecting a different result. Imagine cheating on your wife to be thrown in child support by a stripper. These men are geniuses." First of all, as a practical matter, he is not going to be an actual 50% physical parent, even if she has to pay child support on the kid's time with him. It will be based on her income, while his will be based on his. Basically, she will probably be able to pay her child support out of what he gives her and have change left over. So it looks like Sade has NeYo right where she wanted him all along, but I want to know what you guys think about all this drama. Do you think that this is NeYo's karma, or is Sade just being greedy? Let me know what you think in the comments, and then check out this next video.